Hello. If you've pressed play, then you are interested in Kangen water. I wanted to share how this medical grade water came into my life 5 years ago. I was working with a private client who had 11 to 12 little tumors in the frontal cortex of the brain. At first they didn't know what was going on. They thought he had Alzheimer's, but then through lots of tests they figured out that he had skin cancer. He was very much into traditional medicine. That's the route he wanted to go. But he also, his wife wanted him to study meditation, specifically Kundalini meditation work. And that's how I was brought into the picture. I went to his house twice a week and we worked on Kundalini brain protocols. And it was fascinating. This allowed him to function better, have a better quality of life. Soon he was able to do tasks he wasn't able to do before. Just those basic things we take for granted, like putting on your clothes and being able to work the cell phone. One thing I loved about this particular client is that he had a beautiful aura and a ray of light. He was very much like a grandfather figure to me, and he spoke a lot about God. He had a strong faith, and at the time in my life, when I was breaking down and working on some of my own issues, he was a blessing to me. And so in those 2 years, without me knowing it, I fell deeply in love with him. We had a very deep spiritual connection. This was the first time I had experienced any type of intimacy where I felt like I met somebody like from my soul family. And he tried a special treatment for his cancer, and within a month he passed away. But within that month, he was in a lot of pain. He had a lot of rashes, he had fevers, he would hallucinate with me, and he became very angry. And so this was a side of him I was not used to. It really caught me off guard, and it left me very depressed. So when he did pass away, I had a lot of anger. I didn't realize till weeks later that I was grieving the loss of not just a client, but somebody that I considered a soul family member. And with releasing some of my hurt and my pain and my grief, I started to vent to God, which is a common theme in my life. Why does everybody have cancer? I just want to know why everybody here has cancer. It doesn't matter what age you are. It's an epidemic, and if we look at the stats now, 1 out of 2 people in the United States, it's a big epidemic. From 20 years ago, it was 1 out of 16,000 people. And as I sat in meditation, I heard a voice, which is common for me, that said the water is bad. And so I wrote that in my journal, having no education on water, because when you learn, if you keep listening here, you're going to learn that a lot of people, whether you're a doctor, whether you're a chiropractor, whether you're a physical therapist, whether you're a yoga teacher, there's very little education on water, specifically the quality of your water. You may read in magazines, drink 8 glasses of water, but that may not be good for you if the water you're drinking is toxic. So I had to go away, and I thought when I come back, I'll start researching water. Well, as the universe works, I came back, a new client came to me for Kundalini Yoga, and they worked for Enagic. Enagic is a Japanese company that have been making medical devices for 46 years. These medical devices have been in their hospitals producing the best results with chronic diseases. They're number 1 in healthcare, number 1 in longevity, and number 1 in wound care. And so for me, when my client brought me some water, that was the real test, because I'm all about experience, how I feel. I'm really in tune with my energy and my body. I liked the water. I couldn't get enough of it, which was interesting because I would force myself to drink bottled water because I knew from a health point of view that's what you're supposed to do, but I never really liked it. But this type of water, my body was craving it. So I started doing water pickups twice a week. That means I got glass containers. Glass is important. And I would pick up the water twice a week because the healing properties, from a scientific point of view, die within 36-40 hours. So the water doesn't go bad, it just goes neutral. I started drinking the water, and within a couple weeks, because I have thalassemia, which is a genetic red blood cell disorder, I started to notice some big changes. My sleep was much deeper. I had much more energy. I felt like a fog had lifted in my brain, and I realized I had lived my whole life depressed, and I didn't even realize it. And it was just like light bulb. I did my research because back then I was a science junkie. I was hardcore. You got to have the clinical research, and we do. So if you go on this site, I put it all there because I work a lot with doctors. I work a lot with nurses, a lot of people in the health field. So we have it. We have the clinical research. If you go on the page and read about it, you have a lot of doctors and scientists around the world. Dr. Shinya is a famous doctor. He invented the colonoscopy. And so there's a lot of substance to this medical device. But having been drinking the water for 5 years and selling the machines and educating the population, I have seen nothing but amazing results. It's not a quick fix. In fact, I'll be honest, it took about a year. I thought I was healed. I come from severe childhood abuse and trauma. Just finished writing a book about that. And, severe brain damage off the charts. And it took about a year before the trauma was pulling out of my connective tissues. So at the end of a healing crisis, a long healing crisis I felt like with the Kundalini brain protocols and the Kangen water, I had a new brain. Literally. Personality, mood, no victim mentality anymore, patterns reversed. But I've also watched it with a lot of my clients who come from PTSD, depression, some mental illnesses, skin disorders. We have a doctor protocol book I can email you for any skin disorder, stage 4 cancer, you name it. And the bottom line is you're 72% water. Your brain is mostly water. So it's not just about getting clean water. This is a medical grade water with 7 different types of waters that I teach families, businesses, healers, how to use those waters and how the Japanese hospitals and now other countries are picking up on this and buying the machine for their hospitals, how they're utilizing these 7 different types of water to heal the body naturally. Now I've worked with naturopaths, I have worked with the most incredible energy healers, and I've worked with some great doctors. They all come from different backgrounds, but the bottom line is we are fighting a chemical time bomb here. I don't care how holistic you get, we are all fighting it, whether it's in the air, whether it's in our food. So if you can get the highest quality of water, you have 72% of the puzzle taken care of. And so basically I just wanted to introduce myself, explain how this machine, I never thought I would be teaching people about a medical device and selling machines, but this was God-led. And I'm proud to work for this company. I think it's a good company. I think it's a product that has their certifications and stamps and licenses to be called a medical device. You're going to see a lot of things on Google. Google's not the best research engine. I think clinical PubMed research is. And I'm here to help you figure it out. We have lots of machine options, which one would be best for you. We have financial planning, whatever works for you. But the bottom line is we need more businesses to buy into this instead of buying something that they're spending 3, 4, 5 times per year on, a product that is simply causing more toxic and more acid in the bodies of their clients and their employees. And let's face it, let's look at the chronic disease rate in the United States. It keeps going up. So I hope you enjoyed this. Go on my website. There's a lot of stuff to review. If you have any questions, just send me an email, shoot me a phone call. I would be happy to talk with you. Blessings.